Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and in this video tutorial I'm going to show you how to make simple animation using Flutter SDK. So I already have my boiler plate set up, and then I'm first going to create a home screen that will have a button, and when we click on the button the animation will start or open. Okay, so let's create our home screen. Our home screen will just be a stateless widget. Let's override this, and then we can have our contest, and then let's return the scaffold widget. The scaffold widget just creates a simple page for you where you can have your app bar and then the body of the page. So let's create an app bar just to have a title on the app bar, and then the title argumentation a text widget. So you can put our text here and say simple animation. Okay, so and inside the body we just want to have a button at the center. So let's use the center widget and say child, and now the button, we want to use the raise button here, and the raise button can take a child which is our text, the text we want here, and say using animation. So that's the animation we are going to create. So when you click on the button, we want to open the page for the animation. So let's do that. And to open a new page, we will use the navigator to open a new page. Let's say navigator dot of contest dot push. We push a new page to the screen, and then we use the material page route. So the material page route, we have our builder. The builder is just for the page that we want. So we have our build contest here. Sorry. And then we can say the page name should be easy in animation. Okay, so we can now put our home screen at the home of the material. So home and say home screen. Okay, so now let's go and create the easy in animation page, and then first let's do the import here because we know where we are going to say so easy animation dot. So let's create that page. Easy animation dot. And this file we need to import the material dot package, and then let's create a class. Okay, and in this class we need our class to be a stateful widget because we are going to create animation, and the animation will change value over time, so we need a stateful widget. So stateful widget, sorry, we need to okay, so we need the easy animation state class, and then we can extend state. So and we need to pass in the easy animation class here, and then now we have So we need to accept the build context here. Yeah. So we've created our stateful widget class here. So now let's create the main body of our easing animation. So the animation we are going to create is the animation will bring a container to the page, and then it will stay at the center for a second and then move out of the screen. So to create animation, we need some components, and first we need the animation object. We need to create animation object which will take the value and then translate those values into meaningful animation. And the animation object doesn't know any widget on the screen. The only thing it does, it changes the value from one point to another. So suppose you give a beginning value of, let's say, 0.0 and then an end value of 1.0, then it will translate that value from 0 to 1.0. So let's say you have 0.0, 0.1, 0.2 up to 1.0. So we create our animation objects, and then we also need animation controller, and then the animation controller is used to control the animation. So it's used to start the animation and also to stop the animation and also to set the duration of the animation. So, and then we need our init state to initialize the objects we've created. So let's initialize the object we've created. Animation controller is equal to animation controller. And here we need to set the duration of the animation. Okay. And then the duration we've set here is 2 seconds. And also to use the animation controller, we need to pass we need to create our stateful widget needs to be a missing class. So we can say with taker provider state missing, and then we can pass that to the animation controller. So we sync this. Okay. And then we also need to initialize our animation object. So animation is equal to the theme. So what this thing does is it will allow you to set a beginning value and then an end value. So we can say begin, and then we are going to start from -1.0 and end at 0.0. So what this will do is it will take -1.0 and then translate those values up to 0.1. So it will start from -1.0, -0.90, negative up to 0.0. So, and then we need to animate and then set the kind of animation we need, and then say curved animation. And in this curve animation we set the type of curve we want. So we say curves dot fast out slow in. That's the type of animation we want. And then we can also pass in the controller to the parent, and that will be the animation controller. Okay. So now to start our animation, first let's create a scaffold widget in the main body, in the widget body. Sorry. And then we should give it a body. I think let's give it an abba first, and say abba, and then give it a title. So let's say easy in animation, so that we know that this is for the easy animation. And also let's give it a body. So we want the container, the animation container, to be at the center. So we can create a center. Now first we need animation builder, right? So the animation builder is okay. Let's create a center first, and then the center can take in a child, and then we can set the animation builder. So the animation builder takes in a widget that is a widget that it needs to be animated. So you can take in any widget, whether a container, even a scaffold widget. You can take in any widget, and then that widget will be animated depending on the animation controller that we pass into. So we need to pass in the we need to pass in it's supposed to be animated builder, not animation builder. So we can pass in our animation and say animation, and then we can pass in a builder. Build contest, and then it also has a second argument, which is a child. Now we can return the widget that we want to build on the screen. So first we are going to build a container. So the widget that we want to animate is just a container, say height of, let's say, 100.0, and also the width should be 100.0, and then we can give it a simple color, say colors dot blue accent. Since we first set the theme of the application to be blue accent, we can also decide to say theme dot of contest and then dot primary color, and it will give us the color of the application. I'm having an error here, I don't know why, but anyway, we can continue. Okay, yeah, here is supposed to be a semicolon because we are returning a widget actually. So we are just, what we want to animate is the container, but then we need another widget called a transform widget, because we are going to move the container from the left side, and then it comes to the middle, and then it moves out of the screen. So we need a component or a widget called a transform, and then this transform will allow us, it will give us a chance to move an object either on the x axis or the y axis or the z axis. So we can cut this out and say transform, and then this will also take the child that we want to transform. So we pass in the container to it, and then this, let's say this will take in another argument called a transform. We can pass in the metrics for the translation values, and you see this one is taking in the x, y, z, and we don't need the y and then the z, so we can pass in 0.0 and 0.0 because we don't need to do any translation with the y and z. But then we want to do something with this x, so the x simply means the horizontal axis, right? So we are going to translate the container from the left to the right, and that is just the horizontal axis. If you want to translate from top to bottom, then we are going to use the y axis, right? So let's do that. Before we translate on the x axis, we need to get the full width of the screen, right? And with that, we are going to create a variable here in our build method to calculate the width of the screen. So double device width, and then we say media query. To get the width of the screen, we can say media query dot of context dot size dot width, right? So we get the full width of the device, and now what we are going to do here is we can say animation dot value times device width. So what I'm trying to say here is when the animation value start changing from -1 to 0, then we multiply that by the device width. So let's assume that the device width is 360, and then the animation value will start from, let's say, -1, right? So we start from -1. -1 times the device width will give us -360. So it will be right at the left side of the screen, back in the left side of the screen. So it will translate, and then it will move, let's say, from -0.9999. So when it gets to 0 here, then the device width will be what? 0, and it will be at the center of the screen. So let's see, I think here we are done with this place. So to actually start the animation, we need to use the animation controller to start it. Then we can say animation controller inside the any state dot forward. The forward simply means to start. We should start the animation. So you can save that and also go into the main data and save what we have there. So let's run this out and see what we get. Okay, so our app is installed. Now let's click on the button and see what happens. You see, now animation started, and then the container moved to the middle. Started from the left side and then moved to the middle. So now the animation stopped at the middle because we said the translation, the value starts from -1 to 0.0. So to move the animation, the container from the center to the right side, we need to create another animation. We need to set another animation value to the animation object. So we can also do something here. When the animation stops at the center, we need to find when it stops. We need to know when it stops. So the animation object has listeners. We can listen to when this animation has completed or started or is ongoing. So we want to actually listen to when it completes. So we can say add listeners. Not add listener, add status listener. And with this one, we can listen to the status or the status of the animation. So this one passes there. Okay, so you can check when the animation is completed. So you can say status equals animation status dot completed. Sorry, animation. I have an error in my spelling. Animation status dot completed. So we are saying if this animation is completed, then we want to set a new value to the animation object. So we call the animation object and then set a new value to the animation object. So we can say now begin from 0.0 and end at 1.0. So it's the same thing for the rest. And then we have our curved animation. And in this one we can set our curve and say curves dot fast out slow in. And then we can also pass in the controller. So animation controller. Okay. So we are saying that when the first animation completes and stops at the center, we are setting a new value to it, a new chain value to it. So this time we are saying start from 0.0, exactly where this one ended, and then go to 1.0. So then, and if you set the value like this, it won't work because the animation object is still holding this value. So first we have to reset the controller so that we can use this new animation value. So we can say before we pass in the value, we can say animation controller dot reset so that we pass in this new value. And then when this is done, we can say you can say animation controller dot forward, and we start this one too. So let's save this one and see. Let's go back and then click on the button again. So start, and then it stops at the center and then continues. Okay, you see the animation is repeating. So in order to move from the screen, we can also listen to when this animation actually stops, and then we go back to our home screen. So where's this animation? So here's the animation. We can also listen to when it stops and say sorry, add status listener, and then we can also set, and then this time too we said status, and we can simply say if status equals animation status dot completed. If it's completed, then we can say navigator dot of context dot pop, and then this code here will just remove this screen from there, and we'll go back to the home screen. So let's save and then restart again. Let's go back and then press on the button again. Now it comes to the middle, it goes off, and then it's a pop. Yeah, so that's it for now, guys. So if you have any question, you can leave them in the comment below and I'll answer them. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.